At its stature, a period stretching out from the center of the 16th century to the start of the 18th, the Mughal Empire controlled practically the whole Indian subcontinent, marshalling huge measures of cash and labor. The most popular individuals from the Mughal tradition are its first rulers, Babur, and 5 of his lineal relatives, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. These 6 heads are once in a while all things considered known as the Great Mughals, and the military, creative, and political wonders of the realm are inseparably associated with their singular memoirs. Babur. Zahir al-Din Muhammad, privileged position name Babur, was a 5th-age relative of the Turkish winner Timur, whose realm, inherent the late 14th century, covered quite a bit of Central Asia and Iran. Brought into the world in 1483 at the sundown of that realm, Babur confronted an unforgiving reality: there were such a large number of Timurid rulers and insufficient territories to go around. The outcome was a steady agitating of wars and political interest as opponents looked to unseat one another and grow their regions. Babur spent quite a bit of his childhood focused on attempting to catch and hold Samarkand, the previous capital of the Timurid realm. He involved it in 1497, lost it, and afterward took it again in 1501. His subsequent victory was brief. In 1501 he was resoundingly crushed fighting by Muhammad Shaybani Khan, losing the Pine-for city alongside his local realm of Fergana. After one last worthless endeavour to retake Samarkand in 1511, he abandoned his deep-rooted objective. In any case, there are second demonstrations in Timurid life. From Kabul, which he had involved in 1504, Babur turned his consideration toward India, dispatching attacks into the Punjab locale starting in 1519. In 1526 Babur's military crushed a lot bigger power having a place with the Lodi Sultanate of Delhi at the Battle of Panipat and walked on to involve Delhi. When of Babur's demise in 1530, he controlled all of northern India from the Indus to Bengal. The topographical system for the Mughal Empire was set, in spite of the fact that it actually did not have the managerial constructions to be administered as a solitary state. Babur is likewise associated with his collection of memoirs, the Baburnama, which gives a refined and clever record of his experiences and the changes of his fortunes, with perceptions on nature, society, and legislative issues in the spots he visited. Humayun. Humayun, additionally called Nazir al-Din Muhammad, conceived March 6, 1508, Kabul, Afghanistan, kicked the bucket January 1556, Delhi, India, second Mughal leader of India, who was more a swashbuckler than a consolidator of his domain. The child and replacement of Babur, who had established the Mughal administration, Humayun managed from 1530 to 1540 and again from 1555 to 1556. Humayun acquired the expectation as opposed to the reality of domain, on the grounds that the Afghans and Rajputs were simply controlled however not accommodated to Mughal matchless quality by the Mughal triumphs at Panipat 1526, Karnua 1527, and the Gahara 1529. Bahadur Shah of Gujarat, energized by Afghan and Mughal émigrés, tested the Mughals in Rajasthan, and, in spite of the fact that Humayun involved Gujarat in 1535, the risk there finished uniquely with Bahadur's passing in 1537. In the interim, an Afghan officer of fortune, Sher Shah of Sur, had merged his influence in Bihar and Bengal. He crushed Humayun at Chauza in 1539 and at Kanayu in 1540, removing him from India. Babur's child Humayun, original name Nazir al-Din Muhammad, ruled 1530–40 and 1555–56, failed to keep a grip on the realm after an insubordination drove by the Afghan officer of fortune Sher Shah of Sur removed him from India. After 15 years, Humayun exploited friction among Sher Shah's replacements to recover Lahore, Delhi, and Agra. Yet, he wasn't around long to partake in his re-established domain. He kicked the bucket in a tumble down the means of his library in 1556 that might have been brought about by his exorbitant drinking. He was prevailed by his child Akbar. Akbar. Humayun's child Akbar, ruled 1556 to 1605, is regularly recognized as the best of all Mughal rulers. At the point when Akbar went to the privileged position, he acquired a contracted realm, not expanding much past the Punjab and the region around Delhi. He left on a progression of military missions to broaden his limits, and a portion of his hardest rivals were the Rajputs, savage fighters who controlled Rajputna, presently Rajasthan. The Rajputs' principal shortcoming was that they were separated by savage competitions with one another. This made it workable for Akbar to manage Rajput bosses separately as opposed to defying them as a unified power. In 1568 he caught the stronghold of Khaida, presently Chittorgarh, and his leftover Rajput rivals before long abdicated. Akbar's approach was to enroll his crushed adversaries as partners by permitting them to hold their advantages and keep overseeing on the off chance that they recognized him as ruler. This methodology, joined with Akbar's open-minded perspectives toward non-Muslim people groups, guaranteed a serious level of concordance in the realm, despite the incredible variety of its people groups and religions. Akbar is additionally credited with fostering the regulatory designs that would shape the realm's decision tip-top for ages. Alongside his ability at military success, Akbar ended up being an insightful and liberal pioneer. He empowered interreligious exchange, and, notwithstanding being uneducated himself, belittled writing and human expression. Jahangir. Ruler Salim was the oldest child of the sovereign Akbar, who early stamped Salim to succeed him. Restless for power, notwithstanding, Salim revolted in 1599 while Akbar was occupied with the Deccan. Akbar on his deathbed affirmed Salim as his replacement. The new head picked the Persian name Jahangir, world Caesar, as his rule name. Jahangir, original name Salim, the child of Akbar, was so anxious to take power that he carried out a concise insurrection in 1599, declaring his autonomy while his dad was as yet on the high position. After 2 years he ventured to such an extreme as to organize the death of his dad's dearest companion and counsel, Abu al-Fazl. These occasions upset Akbar, yet the pool of potential replacements was little, with 2 of Jahangir's more youthful siblings having intoxicated themselves to death, so Akbar officially assigned Jahangir as his replacement before his demise in 1605. Jahangir acquired a realm that was steady and well off, passing on him to concentrate on different exercises. His support of artistic expressions was exceptional, and his castle studios delivered probably the best smaller-than-usual compositions in the Mughal custom. He likewise burned through extreme measures of liquor and opium, at one point utilizing an uncommon worker just to deal with his stockpile of inebriating drugs. Shah Jahan. Like his dad Jahangir, Shah Jahan, original name Shihab al-Din Muhammad Khurram, acquired a realm that was moderately steady and prosperous. He had some achievement in expanding the Mughal Empire into the Deccan states, the conditions of the Indian promontory, however he is referred to the present time essentially as a manufacturer. He charged his most renowned creation, the Taj Mahal, in 1632 after his third spouse, Mumtaz Mahal, kicked the bucket while bringing forth the couple's 14th kid. The enormous tomb complex required over 20 years to finish and today is one of the most mind-blowing realized structures on the planet. Mughal family legislative issues stayed precarious as continually during Shah Jahan's rule. In 1657 Shah Jahan became sick, touching off a conflict of progression among his children. Thanks for watching. Bye now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Life is Often if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.